Makoto Shinkai is best known for movies like Your Name or Suzume, both good movies in their own right, but neither are my favorite. I do like them quite a lot, but there's this one film of his that I've never been able to forget or adequately describe. It captures such a specific feeling that I've always struggled to put into words. My heart and soul feel like it gets it on a spiritual level. It feels so ethereal and fleeting, and yet like it is watching someone's soul being poured onto the screen. I've never seen a movie quite capture the same feelings as I have while watching my favorite Makoto Shinkai film, 5 centimeters per second. The first vignette in 5 centimeters per second is the story that feels like it is someone telling us a highlight of their life. The ethereal cutting through time as Takaki hopes and prays that he'll be able to see Akari one last time. It's the purest distillation of young love I've ever seen in an anime besides from maybe Tsukigakure, but even that series ends with these childhood lovers married and happy. In just about 30 minutes, 5 centimeters per second paints a picture of a childhood love never meant to be. Takaki loves Akari and is dead set on seeing her one last time before distance truly separates them. He tries to find his way to her, but the constant train delays feel like an eternity. He wonders if he'll ever get there, but he has to hold himself together. He cracks time and time again, but he still holds himself together. He loves this girl so much he's willing to go through all these hardships just to see her one more time. It's such a pure love without any regard for the consequences. Nothing can stop him from getting to her, not even the universe. Takaki and Akari are both too young to have any care about their perception. There's love there and they'll seek it out. They're formative friends for each other and keep in touch as kids do. Those friendships mean so much to them and they want to treasure it and foster it. And after all these troubles, the two finally embrace, and it's there that the vignette feels like a recollection. Their full embrace, but also their final moments.
I clearly understood that we would never be together. Our lives not yet fully realized. The vast expanse of time. They lay before us, and there was nothing we could do. But then, all my worries, all my doubt, started melting away.
He knows this will never be forever, but in that moment he doesn't care. He loves her now, and that's what matters. I think there's something so special about the feelings in this final scene of the first vignette that feels so true to life. Young love rarely works. The whole world is ahead of you. There's this expanse of the universe ahead of you, but for now, this love means everything. 5 centimeters per second feels so sincere in its portrayal of love. Nothing feels like it's added just to spice things up, but instead it feels like a moment in time and all the emotions entailed within it. It feels like a creative nonfiction essay brought to life. The love is pure, but time and distance is only going to continue to grow. While the art of 5 centimeters per second is definitely rougher than his later films, the roughness and vibes feel even more potent here than in those films. It's just so special and the truest version of vibes doing a great job boosting my love for the movie. The chill of the wind, the humming of the train, every aspect of this vignette creates an immaculate mise-en-scène that few things have ever matched. It makes me feel like I'm living a young love that I've never experienced. But unfortunately, this is only the first act of 5 centimeters per second. 2 more wait as Takaki longs to return to this train ride long after it has left the station.
You look like you want to go someplace far.
Sometimes love is unattainable. As much as we'd love for everything to work out, sometimes the gap is just too wide. Every romance in this episode is distant. The vast expanse of space separates Takaki from Akari, just as it separates Kanae from Takaki. The expanse can be felt in every ounce of screen time Takaki has. He isn't looking at anything we can see. He's barely even present in the world. He hasn't moved on from that train ride. He still loves Akari even if he hasn't talked to her in who knows how long. His love is distant, only existing in the expanse of his mind where he still sees Akari. It's so melancholic and sad to see him completely disconnected from the world around him, so oblivious to everything but this yearning for the past. But it's such an easy feeling to fall into when your love feels that strong. Even if he knew on that snowy night that he wouldn't be with her, he can't let go. The distance between them is accelerating away at 5 centimeters per second, and it will never stop. And on the flip side, there's Kanae, who yearns for Takaki but can't muster up that last ounce of courage to confess. He loves from afar, not quite aware of the full distance between them. To the viewer, it's abundantly clear Takaki isn't looking anywhere close to Kanae, but she's so in love she can't tell. Love has blinded her, but that's the best part of love sometimes. I feel bad for Kanae, but I understand how she feels so well. Sometimes you can love someone so much, but it's clear that things will never be. I had feelings for the same person for a good part of middle school and early high school, but I could barely muster up the courage to speak to them. I always looked from afar, distance keeping things from ever changing. And in hindsight, things were never going to change, but in the moment, in those fleeting hours of youth, anything feels possible. And that's the beauty of this part of 5 centimeters per second, the beauty of that infinitesimally small chance that there could be love there. It may be rose-colored, but youth is a time for moving towards that chance. Your brain doesn't understand the consequences, so you shoot for the moon. But ultimately, things don't always go according to plan, and in reality, they rarely do. Kanae's realization that Takaki is not even looking at her is sad, but it's a reality many people experience. Love is beautiful, but it can be painful. The rejection, the lack of reciprocation is a sad feeling. You have this abundance of love in you and to not have it reciprocated. All my life I've been rejected, and for the longest time this is my least favorite part of 5 centimeters per second. I was frustrated with Kanae for not seeing things sooner, but I think I get it now. I think I just saw too much of myself in Kanae. I saw the love and the pain. I saw the people I've loved only for things to end with rejection one more time. I saw the sadness that strikes with every rejection and realization that things weren't meant to be. And it never gets easier even after numerous times, but it's still an important part of life. All that love helps you understand yourself, and all that rejection helps you learn to stand up again. The pain stings, but life continues onward just as it does for Kanae. She cries her heart out, but she will continue onward. I'd squeeze the sadness out of rejection out from me every time and move onward until somehow I ended up here in this moment, living the life that I have right now. Every rejection taught me more about myself, and it helped me make some lasting friendships with people, because even if my feelings aren't reciprocated, I can still be friends with them in some capacity. As I get older, sometimes I humor the thought of what could have been. I know nothing will come of it, but I'm always imagining anyways. The frequency has faded as I've grown more content with my life, but I used to wonder what could have been if any of my love was reciprocated. As I grew up and matured, I realized things were meant to end as they did. The flaws showed up, and I understood that we were better off as friends. Takaki Tono never reached this stage. He was swallowed whole by a lover long gone. The final section of 5 centimeters per second contrasts the dream both Akari and Takaki have, but the interpretations are entirely different. Akari looks back on that moment and there's a cheery fondly, but her life has moved on. It's just a dream in the past. The emotions and feelings are there, but she's getting married soon and has started a new life. Takaki, on the other hand, dreams of what could have been if things had gone differently. If he had stayed in touch, if they'd stayed in love. He's sad to watch in this section. His life has gone completely awry because he's stuck searching for signs of Akari. The final song of the film encapsulates his headspace perfectly. If he had one more time, one more chance, he'd do it all again. But that's not reality, it's just a dream. He has to live his life, but he can't. He hasn't gotten even 5 centimeters closer to a human being since he kissed Akari when he was a kid. There's also something to be said about how this is just life. There are so many relations that fade because of distance. One day someone just stops responding, or you just don't see each other, and soon those days become weeks, and weeks become years. Of my high school friends, I only talk to one now, and even that is inconsistent. Some faded once you went to college, the distance severing the cord. Some faded in the midst of college due to nothing anyone did. Some tried to reconnect, only go back into silence shortly after. Sometimes I think about reconnecting, but many I have no means to contact again, and this is even more true for Takaki. There's no social media to let him reach out to Akari all those years later. The ship sailed, and the only way they reconnect is by pure happenstance. Many of the people I haven't talked to in a while, I could reach out to in this instant. For many of my college friends, I'll do just that. I don't want those relationships to be severed, so I reach out. I hit them with the good old, how's the life going? And hope for the best. The others, I stop myself from reaching out. I don't particularly know why, whether it be the strength of the connection or just whims. It's just something in my stomach that pauses me from acting. Things could be different, but I can only close the distance so much. Most of my friends are at least 1,000 miles from me, but I can still close the distance if I want to. Takaki is not so fortunate, but honestly I think that's for the best. If he was able to reconnect with Akari as an adult, I think that would destroy him. All that pent-up longing only to find her happily married would ruin him and probably send him spiraling down even further than he already is, because he has spent his entire life longing for this one person and she has moved on. Hopefully, he'll eventually be able to move on, walk on his own again. We never see it. Either that he's going to continue to travel away from everyone in his life at a constant 5 centimeters per second until eventually he's too far from anything to make the trip back. What I love about 5 centimeters per second is how realistic it feels. It's got the whole spectrum of love, but ends it without a fully happy ending. It ends and the viewer feels conflicted. It's kind of like the La La Land ending, except Takaki is not in a better place in his life than before by the end of the movie. If you combine all of the acts together, you get something close to La La Land. Kanae knows that their love was never meant to be, but the love is still there. You can exchange glances and understand that this is how life goes. Takaki would exchange glances and he would be longing all over again. But in reality, some relationships are just meant to be a piece of life, coming and going as the universe sees fit. The time isn't important, but the impact will never be forgotten. For Akari, she loved and continued to love more. For Kanae, she loved and continued to love while going her own way. For Takaki, he loved and got stuck in the phantoms of love for the rest of his life. He's the bad ending of La La Land, a man who loved and spent the rest of his life wishing she still loved him. It's melancholy at its finest, and that's what I love about 5 centimeters per second. I'd love to feel complicatedly sad about life and things that happened in it, except I watched La La Land and finally understood that some relationships are put into our lives for short periods of time, but leave a lasting impact on us. They'll forever change us even if we'll never see them again. Because as many have said, to live and love is to be changed. Love may not always go the way we want, but I believe that for those who long for it eventually, it'll shine. It may be soon or it may be a long way away, but as long as we're willing to be changed, we will always have one more chance.